So the Otira Gorge Reseal is just west of Arthur's Pass, and for those that don't know Canterbury, it's about 2.5 hours drive from our nearest asphalt plant. It is located between the rock shelter and our Candies Road Bridge. It's an alpine environment. It's got steep 16% gradient, and on one side there is a rock face, and on the other side there's a 60-metre drop down to the river.
Probably one of the more difficult sites we have to work in. We do work there, I don't know, every 5 years or so. They try and break it up a bit, but definitely was a challenging site. It was approximately about 340 metres long, full width carriageway resurfacing from the bottom of the rock shelter up to the lookout car park, across about 4 or 5 half bridges as well.
Once the initial site inspections had taken place, we realised the methodology of doing the mill and fill lane by lane, we weren't able to do that. Keeping our staff safe, keeping the public safe, and also having a 1 metre lateral safety zone. There were 3 options that were put on the table. The initial one, which was lane by lane and having traffic running alongside our staff. The other one was doing short closures, which was for 4 hours of the day. That would have been putting public users up onto unbound granular material on a 16% gradient, which wasn't preferred. And the last one was to have full closures, which we went for.
State Highway 73, which runs from Yaldhurst in Canterbury through to Kamara Junction in Greymouth, is a pretty pivotal link for the West Coast, and the team here certainly treat it as such. It was a pretty big deal for us. I mean, we don't jump to road closure as our first way to manage work, and we also, again, recognising the importance of the route and how many people use it, it's not our preferred method of doing it. So we had to kind of take a step back and look fairly closely, at what we were going to do, when we were going to do it, the timing in terms of the year, when in the construction season, and also in terms of the timing during the day. And we worked quite closely with stakeholders, the likes of KiwiRail, bus companies, freight companies, and the likes, to kind of optimise the time that we were on site while minimising the impact to them, acknowledging that there was always going to be an impact.
We'd never laid an SMA at 16% grade, so we went through and did all the structural, rehab work around all these bridges in between the decks, which took about 5 shifts. And then we had to work out how we were actually going to get the wearing course on and make it stick and achieve compaction. So we ended up doing a few trials in Miners Road, which is where we are now. This is one of them behind me. So we trialled temperatures of mix, what additives we put in, so how much evotherm we were putting in to try and make it workable. We hired about 9 different rollers to work out what weights and horsepowers and stuff could get up the hill. And we went through about 80 tonne of mix, actually working out whether we could get it without stretching and shunting and product failure. So we did get there. We worked out we actually needed to do a full membrane seal under it and a full mill texturising. So that added into the complexity of the day.
The key success for the job was everyone collaborating together, West Coast, Canterbury coming together. Everyone had one goal: to get this road open as fast as possible, not delay the public. NZTA's involvement as well, letting us do the road closure. On the last day we had 50 people, upwards of 50 people on site. It consisted of Canterbury TM setting up. We had Canterbury mill the site, mill the edges, and then the West Coast team came in and membraned the whole site for us. The 2 paving teams from Canterbury come up to do echelon paving, so there was a hot joint all the way up the road. We decided on that, so then we didn't have to split it in 2 halves. NZTA were pretty stoked with the idea of that. We moved all our programming around this day. We always knew this day was going to come. The boys knew the day was going to come. We ended up echelon paving, no cold joints whatsoever. At the end of the shift, we had road marking come in, put some road marking down, and then TM packed up the site.
The team were just accommodating, I guess, is probably the main point, there was a solution to everything. I mean, yes, we had problems and challenges that we had to work through, but you know, the team was striving for solutions, not for, you know, excuses. And I think, you know, that kind of approach was pivotal, you know, to the successful delivery of the work.
Definitely a bit of a process to go through. There are other networks like it, like I know there's stuff on the WTA that's in a similar environment, so definitely going for road closures and coming with a really short and sharp methodology, so it's like the most amount of pain in a short period of time. Definitely worked well for us in this experience, and it's something we'd look to bring forward on other parts of the network, because we'll be there for the next 2 or 3 years doing more stages up Otira. But it's definitely worthwhile pushing for those methodologies and just not conceding and just trying to get your point across. It is a bit of a battle, but definitely worthwhile. And the boys and eventually the public, everyone had really good feedback about actually how it was run, and yeah, constant communication about why we're doing what we're doing and how we're doing it is a main part of, I guess, how we got to where we got to in the end.
When we talk about who helped deliver this project, it's probably easy to talk about who didn't help deliver this project, because there's so much that was done behind the scenes that people don't see. On site, we had obviously operations team. I think everyone in the surfacing business in Canterbury were involved, plus all our support teams, the labs, the asphalt plants, our comms team. It was a really smooth operation. Our TM were on form. Everyone performed to their best ability out there. I'm really proud to say I work for Fulton Hogan when I see a project like this come together the way it did. It was awesome to be involved in.
Coming from Australia, I've worked in some pretty cool places. I think this is the coolest place I've ever been able to work in. Being a part of a team that just wanted to get the job done, get it done safely, get it done on time, open the road up, was pretty cool. I think to see on the last day the road open, fully paved, and watching cars go up and down that road was a pretty good feeling.